Join Linwood Jackson every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. for the all-new Linwood Jackson Radio Show on WFAI 1510 AM. Every Sunday, Linwood will tackle the issues close to your heart, from civil rights to politics to community affairs around the first state and the nation. Linwood speaks on the issues facing citizens in our area on a weekly basis, but his show is so much more. Linwood will talk about his passions, such as dancing and traveling the world and helping people broaden their horizons while embracing different cultures. That's the Linwood Jackson Radio Show, every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on the all-new WFAI 1510 AM.
Stand up. It's time we stand up. For our ladies, it's time we stand up. For our ladies. Brothers, it's a tribute to the ladies. Listen. Brothers, I got an idea. It is something that's way overdue. It's time we stand up and give our ladies the love that they deserve from me and you. The time for us to do it. The time for us to do it is right here and right now. Right now. So get on out your seats and stand up and stand up. Along with me, I want you to stand up, stand up. Let's give our ladies a standing ovation. Stand up, stand up. Let's give our ladies a standing ovation.
That was Skip Bortley Jr.'s tribute to the ladies you just heard coming in. I want to thank you guys for hanging in there. I know I've been gone for the last couple of weeks. I've been doing a stage play over at the Wilmington Drama League, and over there doing the stage play Miracle on 34th Street. So right off the bat, I want to give thanks to my castmates over there for putting up with me, Miss Kathy Butterball, who is the production manager over there, and Mr. Eric Molino, the director, and the musical director, of course, Miss Penny McCormick. Putting up with my singing, and I don't do too much singing. I'm not musically inclined. I do more talking, or I try to. But anyway, and all my castmates, all 52 of them, and I want to thank everybody who came out and watched the show, Miracle on 34th Street, to get everybody in a festive holiday spirit. All right, today we got a great lineup for you. My first guest wrote books and published even more. Mr. Dave Ware, publisher. Dave, how you doing? Come on in here, buddy.
Oh, I appreciate you having me on today, Brother Linwood. It's a pleasure to actually be here. I just like to acknowledge my guy for allowing me just to get up this morning, just to be able to be here. And, it's certainly a pleasure to acknowledge my family that's out there that's supporting me, my lovely wife, Miss Latasha Ware, and my family, my daughter, Toslin, and my son, Javian, and all my peoples out there that's actually supporting me, helping me to grow my company. So once again, just thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, my brother.
Oh, man, absolutely, and it's a pleasure having you here. Now, Dave, I was reading the other day, just yesterday, as a matter of fact, the most violent state in the country is held by Tennessee. This here was statistics from the FBI. It's a report on rape, robbery, murders, and aggravated assaults. Now, guess what state made number 5 of the top 10? That's right, if you guessed it, y'all, is Delaware. And so we want to talk about that a little bit and what we can do about that. You know what I mean? I know Wilmington is very high with a high school dropout rate, which they're attributing the state of Tennessee for, one of the problems there. Why they have so many problems, because they have a high school and college graduation rate that's also the lowest in the country. So we want to address that there. Again, the city of Wilmington, I think we're around 60% high school dropout rate. Our homicide rate, I think, was rated number 3 in the city, number 3 for a city its size in the country. We want to talk about that a little bit today, going into the new year, because we certainly do not want to carry these issues into the next year here in the state of Delaware. I do have my what I think would be the solutions, my ideas of how to curb this. So I'll be asking you, Mr. Ware, if you got any ideas, and our listeners out there who might want to call in and see if we can help curtail some of these issues out there in regards to the homicide rate and high school dropout rate. So we won't be on that list for next year. So tell us, what's the name of your book that you wrote, Dave?
I wrote a book called Think and Be Blessed. It's poetry for believers of dreams. And I wrote this book probably like 2010. And I specifically wrote this book because I saw that there was a need for people to get inspired. And I wrote it, from out of my heart. I knew and I saw that they need to be inspired.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually wrote that book. Now, the book is a set of instructions. Some people think it's just basically just poetry, but actually it's a set of instructions that shows you how to achieve your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's called Think and Be Blessed. It's poetry for believers of dreams. Usually, I write in this aspect. I also have some other things that are coming out soon. I have a novel that's coming out, science fiction novel. But right now, primarily, I'm working on having other authors come out. And, Lord's just blessing me to help me grow this company. And all my friends and all my family that support me out there, and I'm everywhere, they just support me in this growing. I'm just thankful about that. So.
Hey, cool, man. So tell us, where were you raised?
I was raised in the city of Wilmington, Delaware, up there between Monroe and Madison.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to live on Monroe for a while, and then I lived on Madison Street, and that would be 28th and 30th Street. I've been around in town a lot, as growing up, and I know what those city streets are like. And I tell you, some of the statistics that you've quoted to me is flabbergasting to me,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember a day when we used to be able to walk down in Wilmington, walk on Market Street, walk on the north side and the west side, and ride bikes and everything, and we didn't have to worry about all the crime, the high level of crime that exists. We could just walk, and everybody would be at peace, and we would be enjoying ourselves and talking on the corners or whatever, and just having some fun. So I definitely remember a time on that. So the information that you sharing with the people and with me today, it's flabbergasting. So, it really just breaks my heart, because I know what Wilmington was like, and I'm seeing all this, and I see what Wilmington is becoming. So it's really breaking my heart. So.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to try to address those issues. We all know what the issues are, but we don't know what the solutions are, and that's why I invited you guys in, to come on and offer what you think, and also to get our callers to join us in on that, get you guys to thinking how we're going to stop this stuff. Again, I have my ideas, and I'll share with you a little bit later. But we are joined by our other guests here. I want to bring in Mr. HypnotiqSoul, who is a comedian out there. He's doing some extraordinary things. I had the privilege of working with him on stage a couple of times, and we did a stage play. So not only is he a comedian, he's an actor as well. HypnotiqSoul, come on in here, man. How you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you, Linwood, for having me out, man. Definitely appreciate it. How you feeling today, good brother?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing
Appreciate
good. We got Dave Ware here. We're getting ready to make a phone call. We got another guest that's going to be joining us. What do you think about the issues, man, that the high crime rate that we just talked about?
It's sad the way this generation is nowadays. We just got to get back to the basics. Growing up in the 70s, everybody was looking out for each other. If you got in trouble, by the time you got home, 15, 20 people in your neighborhood knew about it. So they dealt with it. And now nobody's stepping up to the plate anymore. Parents are getting younger. Grandparents are getting younger. It's just crazy.
So you think the parents need to step up a little bit more, get more involved?
I think everybody needs to get more involved. It's just not the parents. Yeah, it is the parents' job, the first place to raise their children. But other people, like you can see somebody getting bullied, and 9 times out of 10, because it ain't pertaining to you, you gonna walk on by it. So more people need to get involved. If you see something, say something. Absolutely.
It's funny you mentioned the bullying. Tell us a little bit. How'd you get started in comedy?
I was getting bullied. It was kind of preposterous. I was a fat kid, so really couldn't hold my hand. So laughter was like medicine. I could get the bullies to leave me alone if I made them laugh.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that's when you started your comedic acts and stuff, huh? Back in those days when you were younger.
I mean, I guess you can say so. I was just trying to prevent getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
I was a fat kid, so fighting was not an option.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was fat, running wasn't really an option, so I had to think on my feet.
Mm-hmm. And tell me, do you write your own routines?
Yeah. My material comes from life experiences. Being in the military, growing up in Chester, Pennsylvania, growing up with a single mom, being the oldest of two brothers. It's life experience that serves as the best medicine.
I know that's right. And it started with bullying and stuff, which is what we got a lot of that going on in schools right now today. We want to stop that. And Hypnotic used comedy to curtail that. And then he joined the Marines. And I know you can fend for yourself about now, though.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get on stage and they don't laugh at your jokes, you might have something for them, huh?
Nah, it ain't gonna never resort to that. But everything isn't for everybody. And the people that do laugh, that do come out to the shows, they're the ones that needed the medicine. So
tell us some of the places you performed in.
Oh man, I've been up and down the East Coast to the Midwest, Ohio, Kentucky, South Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. I performed at places like the Laugh House, Helium, the Gotham, up in New York. So many different venues across the country. I've had the opportunity to share the stage with some of the top luminaries in comedy.
Hey man, that's cool. That's a great story. And how long were you in the military? What branch were you in?
I was in the United States Marine Corps. I wanted a job. Coming from Chester, I wanted a job that was guaranteeing I was going to travel and see some action. So I scored high enough on the ASVAB to get any job I want, but I chose infantry, and I was a 0351 assault, anti-assault person. That was my job, to run up the tanks and blow them up. Did 5 years, 3 tours.
Man, I think everybody in the Marines was in infantry. I was in infantry in the Army myself, so I know what you're talking about, man. Hey, Dave, get back in here, man. Just tell me a little bit about the books. What kind of books do you write or do you publish?
I write a variety of books. I actually publish a lot also, but some of the things, for example, like I've written my book, which is Think and Be Blessed, Poetry for Believers of Dreams. But then I have some authors that actually have come out, just more recently. Like one of my authors is Aisha Daniels, and she has written a book called Long Journey with God. And that's a type of poetry, godly type poetry. I had my man Omar Sharif. He wrote his book, I named her Inspiration, and he came out with his book, and he does a lot of spoken word art. I had my man Shannon Guy, and he wrote a historical slave type of book, and it's actually called Cole, and it's a marvelous story that really needs to be looked at and needs to be continue to be followed, because his book, I think that's a bestseller. Mm-hmm. I believe it is, and it's a strong story. It's a twist between Mandingo and Django.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very interesting book, mm-hmm. and he just came out with that one. That was more recently. I have some more authors coming out, but primarily it's this type of genre that I'm actually working with now. I'm open to doing some other positive things also, but I want it to be more informative and just kind of inspire people to to build their dreams, mm-hmm. And that's basically what I'm doing.
What kind of tips do you have for anybody listening who might want to be a writer?
I would definitely say, if you want to be a writer, you must write every day. That's point blank. That is like the number one golden rule, to write every day. I mean, you have to have a pad with your pen, or if you have a computer, just set time aside to write every day. I mean, I work with a lot of artists in various genres. I work with sweet friend Sean with the the word, the art and the poetry and everything in the spoken word. I work with Richard Blackwell, and he actually does a lot of jazz, but that's all a type of art. I mean, I work with Lady Marshall Perkins, and she has her. And speaking of that, she has her crimes against women and children, which is one of the subjects that we're actually talking about today. So I work with a lot of different people, and that's all it as an expression of the human. Or the issues that humans have, that people have. Those are all different forms of expressions. It just so happened that I'm in the book publishing game, and I'm helping them to take their stories and express it in a book publishing platform. Right. That's all. That's all I'm basically doing. And it's a pleasure to be able to do that, because a lot of authors and a lot of people that are around, they almost feel like it's unreachable. Like even the people, the people in the city, just all the hurt and all the pain. It's like the dream is unreachable. But what I do, I motivate and I help people, and I help them build their dreams, and I help them get out there, whether it be book publishing, or whether it be video editing, or whether it be, just being able to help them to facilitate the dream.
So one of your tips for anybody looking to write would be to write every day. Writing
is something that you must do. Some people, like my man Trippy is my boy. Trippy Congo, he's my boy. He buries, the people that have passed away. On the contrast to that, and I appreciate Trippy because he and his family does a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've been on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate them. Trippy, I went to college with Trippy, so I'm just letting. But a publisher, when you publish your book, you immortalize your words. You see what I'm saying? That's what you do. When you write them down, your words become immortalized, and you can live forever through books that are published.
And you write your own stuff too, Hypnotic. Yes. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to bring Hypnotic in here real quick, because he's writing another type of genre with comedy and stuff.
Speaking that, I appreciate my brother Hypnotic, because the comedic genre is something that we definitely need. We need to laugh more.
I know that's right.
I definitely appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
And where can we get them laughs at? Where you working at right now, Hypnotic?
Right now, I got a monthly comedy show, HypnotiqSoul's Hilarious Hump Day Comedy Extravaganza, second Wednesday of every month, at the D&H Caribbean Restaurant in Newark, Delaware. I'm bringing in comedians from Def Comedy Jam, Bad Boys of Comedy, Martin Lawrence, First Amendment, Comic View, and just trying to bring professional quality shows to Delaware.
Every second Wednesday. And what's the cost?
$10 in advance, $15 at the door.
All right.
You can actually visit the website, www.hypnotic, spelled HYPNOTIQ-soul.eventbrite.com.
Mr. Ware, how can our listeners purchase your books?
Oh, actually, any of the books that you want to purchase from my company or me, you can go to www.wareresources, that's W-A-R-E, and the word resources.com. If you would like some more information, you can call me at 1-888-469-4850, and that's extension 2, and that would be Ware Resources and Publishing. I have 2 extensions on there. One extension is for my art company, and the other one's for my publishing company. So when you dial it, make sure you dial extension 2.
All right, cool. Sitting here with Mr. Dave Ware, book publisher and author, and we have comedian HypnotiqSoul. All of us are sharing some information on how we're going to make Delaware State a better state next year, in the coming year, and I want to thank these guys for giving their advice. Are you on the social mediums at all?
Yeah. You can reach me on Facebook at book publisher Dave Ware Jr. Also, I have another Facebook page. It's author publisher Dave Ware. A lot of people contact me on that one. That was my first. If you want to reach me on Twitter, you can just look at Ware Resources, W-A-R-E Resources, the word resources. And if you want to email me, you can go to wareresources@gmail.com.
Hey, cool, man. Thanks a lot. And what about you, Hypnotic? I know you're out there on the social medium as well.
Oh, yeah.
How can our fans catch up with you?
On Facebook, you can hit me up at HypnotiqSoul, HYPNOTIQ. Last name is Soul. I got a fan page, comedian HypnotiqSoul. Instagram, HypnotiqSoul. Twitter, HypnotiqSoul. Everything's HypnotiqSoul. email address is HypnotiqSoul@gmail.com. I'm not as privileged as to have an 800 number, so my number is
I don't either.
252-6659. It's a dash between the 302 and it's a dash between the 252. So just make sure you hit me up. Definitely come up, check out the show. Second Wednesday of every month. Hypnotic Soul's Hilarious Hump Day Comedy Extravaganza. 748 East Chestnut Hill Road at the D&H Caribbean Restaurant in Newark, Delaware. Hope to see you there. Don't guess what day it is. Know what day it is.
All right. I know that's right. I want to thank our guest, Hypnotic Soul, for coming in the studio with Mr. Dave Ware and sharing their tips. And I want to thank our listeners, again, for coming in this week and listening to us. We're trying to make Delaware a better state for the next year. Mr. Skip Bortley Jr., I wanted to give a shout out to him as well. Tribute to the ladies from Mr. Skip Bortley Jr. You can find that CD on cdbaby.com or itunes.com and go out and purchase that as well. He comes in the studio often and talks again, getting our kids off the street and out of trouble. I want to emphasize a little bit about and read one quote before we close out the show. A world-class education is the single most important factor in determining not just whether our kids can compete for the best jobs, but whether or not America can outcompete countries around the world. America's business leaders understand that when it comes to education, we need to up our game. That's why we're working together to put an outstanding education within reach of every child. President Obama, July 18th, 2011. And we also know that students aren't allowed to walk away from their education. The more of them walk to the stage to get their diploma. So tonight, he calls on every state to require that all students stay in high school until they graduate or turn 18. We all know that Delaware has a law that allows our kids to quit school 16 or in the 10th grade, 2 years shy of a high school diploma. And we on this show, the Linwood Jackson Radio Show, advocate that we change that law. Whoever we need to help them if they have trouble, like with math or the science or something. We get them some tutors or whatever. My other solution would be to establish a homicide unit for the city of Wilmington. The Wilmington Police Department does not have a homicide unit, even though we're the third highest homicide rate in the nation for a city its size. So we also advocate either establishing a Wilmington Police Department homicide unit or encompassing the help from the Newcastle County Police Department or the state of Delaware Police Departments, who both have homicide units. So that's what I think we need to do out there in this city here to try to make it a better state for next year in 2014. Again, we want to wish you all a happy new year and a happy holiday from the Linwood Jackson Radio Show. We want you to stay tuned. We're going to get better as we go. Have a blessed holiday, everybody.
Stand up. It's time we stand up. For our ladies, it's time we stand up. For our ladies, brothers, it's a tribute to the ladies. Listen, brothers, I got an idea. It is something that's way overdue. It's time we stand up and give our ladies the love that they deserve from me and you. The time for us to do it